Alright, we're going to get going. Typical is on the pole, Hollywood on the outside pole, and this is going to be Talladega, the first race in the round of 6 in the Ruthless Racing Series playoffs. And there will only be 4 guys that will move on and be the Ruthless 4 championship fighters. But Talladega is, I'm sure, going to be proven to be a good one. It's 29 laps here in stage number 1, possibly a pit as well, I would imagine. And it'll come down to what kind of strategy some of these guys pull. I know some guys are going to be saving a little bit of fuel, but they can't save a whole thing. I'm not sure what the rule is exactly. I think it's around 100 or 1 or 2 laps. But this is going to be a well of a race here this evening, I do believe, between all these guys. Some of these guys that are lower down in those points that know they can be knocked out with somebody getting a win here tonight. They're going to try to do everything they can to make sure that odd ball out, so to speak, makes it in there. I'd like to see a little high side action get going. Yeah, he's going to take it to the outside. Let's see if the rest of them's going to go. Bob Drew's certainly going to go with him there. And Trav is going to go with him. There's Trav Nation for all you Trav Nation watchers. They're in the 21. But he's going to think about the inside now. Gets back with the group. And he's going to leave them out there to dry for the moment. There's Sticky Renthouse looking to stick his nose somewhere. Oh, got a little bit of contact there going into the one turn here at Talladega. Hollywood gets off the apron a little bit. It's good to see that Miller Lite car out here. Wonder who picked that. We got a couple people making some starts tonight. Got Big Ben here. Hopefully they are reoccurring drivers. All drivers are appreciated here in Ruthless Racing. So welcome aboard there, Big Ben. There's Dunlap, been here in a few starts already here in Ruthless Racing Series. And it's Bob Drew has also made himself start. Travis has been staying up. He's ready to run 2 wide if anyone else has got some balls. Oh, 47 gets contact from the 6 of Bob Drew, goes up and hits the concrete, and that's going to destroy his run. Oh, and he takes another bump in for good measure off the 19 of Jared, who's trying to find the championship spot. You know, I want to see him trying to get 2 lines going. I mean, hell, let a couple cautions fly in this race. It'd be fine with me to see a couple good wrecks happen. Dan the Man leading the outside lane, but thinks different of it. Tucks himself right there in front of Bad Martin, and I can't believe he's able to get that one in there. Thinks about it again on the outside. And see what he does. He's got a little bit of that side draft due to that gap. But Bob Drew jumps inside there. So we got an interesting line working out up here. Bad Martin went up and got Dan the Man again. And it's kind of forcing a few people to push the line here. So from the view of Bad Martin here, you can see they're trying to get that top lane going with some people, but nobody wants to go up there. So we'll see. We got some from the back trying to pull up here and make it interesting. Trav Nation, Dunlap, and I believe that's Anxious Yeti up there in the 62 trying to make that top lane work. And let's see, all the balls are on the high side right now. So alright, we got some 2-lane racing starting to work out here. Bottom line is now outnumbered for the first time this race. Two-line racing here at Talladega is the first stage here in the Ruthless round of 6. And it's also the first race, so we'll see who can make it go. Oh, Bad Martin's going to sling it out to the outside. Dan's going to go with him. Oh, got a wreck. We're going to have a good one here. We got plenty around back here. Oh, goodness. Oh, Ricky Sticky Renthouse already out. Oh, Yeti wrecked it. I believe he was the only casualty. Oh, so we got a couple guys straggling behind now. High lane still looking kind of good here. Oh, 6 kind of jumped out there really quick like. And you can see they've got it really going here. It's Trav Nation out here on the high side with everybody else. Shepard up here trying to steal a spot. Hollywood, I think, did come off the pits, and he's found himself running in this pack, I think. I couldn't be for sure on that. We are going to be 13 out of 29 at the line. And I'm not quite sure how the pitting strategy is going to look for some of these guys. Oh, another wreck. Not 10 around. So 19 wrecks it. Animal was able to avoid him, and we've got a tight race up here at the front, and I'm sure this line's just going to move right down. So the high line, I guess, did technically take over the low line, but it wrecked a couple times in the process. Looking almost 3 wide up front here. It's very possible we might see a flip on this stream. If we do, that means someone really wrecked her, because flips on streams are not very common. That's good shit. Oh, 3 wide in the middle of the group here. Let's see, kind of works itself back out to 2 wide, but now we're 2 by 2 for nearly 4 rows here. As we'll see how it all going to work out. Pit stops are going to be coming here within the next 3 to 4 laps. Welcome to the Blue Bayou. That's right. Trav Nation finds himself back in 8th position now, but that's just due to this side-by-side racing. Travis going to go back up there where the balls are. Recount. So top line trying to get it together. It's Hollywood, Shepard, Typical, Dunlap, and Travis. Stage 1, we got 29 laps. We are coming down to some pit stops here in 2 or 3 laps. Interesting play there. Oh, looks like Typical got a speeding penalty. Hollywood going in hot. Did he get there? That's the interesting part. Nobody wrecked. We are top neck going down pit road here. Big Bob Drew did keep the lead going down pit road. Now we'll see how it works whenever they come off. And yeah, good pit down through there. Typical did get a speeding penalty, so it's going to hurt his stage 1 chances. All right, so the group of people come off with Hollywood in the lead. And so Hollywood did not pit earlier. I guess he just got shuffled down to the bottom there. Bad Martin double teaming it up. Travis trying to catch some air to get up there on their bumpers. Oh, he left him. He left Dan to dry. He left Dan to dry for a moment. I couldn't believe it. Oh, he's going to do it again. He's going to try to keep the lead here. Bad Martin is going to force Dan to go back to the inside. Hollywood's going to take Martin's spot, and now Dan the man's going to have to help Hollywood here and see if him and Travis and Hollywood can all get it together. Can Bad Martin get it done? These 2 guys, that's Jared actually looking for a championship spot, and Yeti, who unfortunately could not claim a championship spot, looking to lose a lap here. Leaders kind of went with them for a second, but now they jump to the outside. Shepard Dan and Martin are all on the outside. Dan kind of working with the bottom cars. I'm not sure what he's trying to do here. He thinks maybe work on the bottom with those guys. You can get around this guy. But it ain't going to happen. There are multiple cars wide coming to the line for stage number 1. Shepard to the inside. And it's going to be Dan that gets stage number 1, but not by much. Bad Martin, Shepard's going to be on the front row, starting this one out. Good restart here by the 4, not so much by the car behind him. And it is bumper to bumper up there on the top line. I think they'll have a little bit of the momentum if Travis can get through those gears fast enough. But I think Shepard may have slowed up that line a little bit. And that's going to allow Bad Martin and these others to continue. Oh, we got Hollywood way down into the apron here on the backstretch. He's going to have to find somebody to let him back in before he Kevin LePages everybody. Bad Martin still leading. So interesting, everybody just going back down to the bottom. 27 laps in stage number 2, so 29 and 27 for the first 2 stages. 2 less in this stage, and everyone will have to pit at least once. And we'll see how that turns everything around. Again, had a really good group pit together there in stage number 1. Always like these Talladega races. They seem to go by quick, even though they really aren't the quickest of races. Yanked out to the outside is the 62, and he's going to have to fall back to the back of this line. Shepard bumped back out too. Maybe this will be the makings for a little bit of an outside line. Yeti back up into the wall back there. So we are 8 of 27 here right now in stage number 2. Bad Martin, your stage 1 winner, is still your stage 2 leader. Yes, Be New Stu, I'm your commentator. Be New Stu right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. Big Ben in that 2 car is still up there. He, barring him not being any laps down, he's running 4th. Dunlap's going to wrap up this part of the field here. So Dunlap still has all that draft. As you can see, we'll get right here on the hood of his car, so y'all can hear this. And you can hear as he got up to the cars, he checked out just a little bit. And I like to call that floating the throttle. And you float that throttle and just, you can really keep your speed up just with the draft. He is a little shaky, but that air really influences how he goes into these turns. As you'll see, some guys will kind of shift up the track if they're further back in the line, as that air is, they have so much speed build up as it just doesn't want to stick. You can see Dunlap does it right there. The air just kind of shoves him up just a little bit. His car just doesn't quite have the stick to handle that much speed at that part of the track. There's Shepard in the 48. Raced every race here. And I don't know if that means we're pitting there for that 34. That possibly could mean that. Or he's just trying to give some room. Shepard in that 48. Big Ben, first start here in the Ruthless Racing Series. And then we're back to Dunlap. And Bob Drew finds himself back out in the lead. He was in the lead earlier on in stage number 1. And here he finds himself back up here now once again. And we'll see if he's able to stay up there. Travis was leading that outside line, but it died rather quickly. As we don't have a lot of cautions, it seems like. But Dunlap has found himself all the way back, or all the way up here to second place now behind Bob Drew. And some of those guys that were running in the front are now in the back part of this pack. Maybe kind of shift the field to save a little bit of fuel. So door-to-door racing, now the leader Bad Martin from before is now trying to take it back. Oh, got the outside, getting a little swirly side draft for the 4 right now. And it's getting swirly up here. Dan the Man somehow works back out to the front here. I don't know if they just caught him or what. I have no clue where he came from. Typical goes down and bumps the 17 a little bit. We're getting a little crazy here towards the end of stage number 2, right before the pit stops. I don't know how many more laps these guys could go, as there is a mandatory pit stop. Anxious Yeti once again at risk of losing another lap. Anxious Yeti prefers the low side to let all these guys go. And these guys are getting swirly here. Bob Drew drops back to 4th now. We had some guys pit already, I do believe. Dunlap going to jump back out to the outside. You got Shepard running 3rd there. You can see Dan the Man out there in the front. And now it's switched. You got Bad Martin now in the 4th position. Oh, 62 got a little wobbly coming off 4. Big one could be a brewing. Maybe nobody wants to pit this time. We're just going to settle it with a restart towards the end of this one, this stage. 20 out of 27 laps, 8 remaining, and we're going to certainly have to be seeing some pits here soon. Because there is no way I miss them pitting. As Dan the Man's hanging on to the lead, but everybody else is just trying to hang on to their wheel. Shepard goes out to the outside, possibly looking for a pit here soon. These guys are going to have to come in, and, you know, like I said, somebody might be able to get away with no tires. And that is going to be a big difference if they're not just out there like a sitting duck. If they get a really good time difference on these guys with about 6 laps remaining, they could possibly get it done out here. I believe that was Anxious Yeti possibly out there that got in the wall. I was focused right here on this. But that's going to be Bad Martin, Dan the Man, typical Trav Nation, and it's Bob Drew in your top 5. So Bad Martin wins stage 1 and 2. As I do believe Bad Martin was the front row along with Dan the Man to start this one off. In stage number 3, fuel is going around 19 laps, it seems to be, but you obviously save quite a few laps here. At a super speedway such as Talladega. And I wish Typical would switch that over so I could see. We got 94 laps total. Oh, big one coming up. Hollywood into the wall. Or I'm sorry, not Hollywood. Animal was in the wall. That's caused Hollywood to wreck. And this is going to bring Bob Drew to the front of the field now, as it has switched. Oh, we got some down already on the restart. What's going on here? We got 30 laps remaining in the race, so these guys are going to have to pit with about around 10 laps to go. 9, depending on how much they save, there certainly will be a pit stop, barring any more cautions. This race was already getting crazy late into stage number 2, and it carried right over to this restart. Kind of double lined out through here. Got some cars really shifty out here this evening. But I feel like this is a great time, since everybody is packed up on the track and everything's going smooth, as I'm going to do a little bit of a crank it up, and you all can let me know how it sounds in the chat. Thank you. Thank you all. That was Crank It Up, Ruthless style. And I hope you all enjoyed that. Bob Drew gets shifted up. Big Ben going to go to the lead, I think. Possibly. Not sure if he was lapped or not. Possibly the lead for Big Ben here. Anxious Yeti, not sure if he made it back on the lead lap or not. And this, oh gosh, I got to look at the back of this pack. It is absolutely spread out. How many cars are in the field? We have 13 on the track right now. We did have one succumb to engine failure. This is the first race in our round of 6 playoffs. Only 2 races in this round. He is looking squirrely, as the outside line gains a lot of cars very quickly, and I mean very quickly. And it's looking great. It's one of the greatest outside lines I've ever seen. And the 16 is leading it. So Big Ben loses the lead back to Bad Martin. So we'll try to get back over to him. As Bad Martin has won both stages here tonight. Can he lock it in for the Ruthless 4? Fighting for a championship at Homestead here in a couple weeks. And I'm not even going to cap. I don't even know what the next race is, so I'll get that pulled up for y'all here. Oh, we got Charlotte next week. That's a good one. Got a 4-stage race, little bonus points. That's another long race. Had a lot of long races here in the playoffs, and I know they take a toll on these drivers, but I'm a one-man booth up here, and I don't hardly stop talking. So yeah, it is going to be Charlotte next week, and that's going to be the deciding factor race. Who goes? And that bottom line is just kind of just working itself out to be the dominant line once again. Yep, we got Trav Nation still out here watching. I have to get him on. There he goes. It was just destined for you all to see him. It was the next car in the freaking line. That's just great. I'm happy for all of Trav Nation for that one. As you see him, he's really not out of this race. I mean, he's right there. That is not out of this race. Even though he looks like he's in about 8th to 10th position, he is. It doesn't mean nothing at a track like this. So there's a 62 been helping this leader out. And so far in this part of the stage number 3, as the outside line starts to brew like a strong storm up the East Coast, can typical Hollywood and it looks like G-Dog, can they get it together? They just need a little bit of help. If somebody wants to go up there and help them out. Everybody's sticking to that bottom line. It's really swirly out there, but they do take the lead for the moment. So we got a heck of a battle up here up front. Got a lot of cars trying to go up there and make it happen. Give us some side-by-side racing. It's been a really entertaining race. One of our better ones all season. We've had a great crowd to go along with it. But this is really for all of you that are out there watching tonight. We just like to have us a good crowd and put something on that they can enjoy. And it's just a fun, loose, relaxing atmosphere. But possibly for the championship race in a couple of weeks, I'll have a special guest up here in the booth, and I won't quite give that away just yet. So the 62, I'm not quite sure if this man is about to lead this race or if he's still a lap down. He's been sneezing and hitting the wall, but hell, if he's in the lead, good for him. But it's pretty crazy right now up here. As got around like 22 laps to go, I do believe. Or no, I'm sorry. Got a little ahead of myself there. There's about 15, 16 laps to go here, unless I just can't count. 17. Sorry, my fault. 17 laps to go here. Stage number 3. You got typical Hollywood, Dan the Man, Bad Martin, Shepard, and Jared. And right now, Bad Martin looking really good. Dan the Man and Hollywood, they might be on the fringes of this Championship 4 society when it's all said and done. It all depends on what maybe someone like Shepard does. Jared seemed to have had a pretty rough outing here this evening, but it all changes with a win, and Talladega is a great track to just get that win out of the way. You wouldn't even have to go turn more than 2 laps in the next race just to say he was there. And so here goes the 2, Big Ben, trying to make a move past Anxious Yeti here. Oh, Trav Nation puts Yeti Nation way up to the concrete and just gets him right out of the way. Oh, we're 3 wide here for about 5th position. Bob Drew just in a terrible position. So they get it figured out. Bob Drew goes back down. We got a lot of swirliness going on out throughout the front parts of this field here. Getting a lot of tongue-tied. So outside drops back as usual. That was a weird transition there. There's Typical, one of those guys looking to get in that championship spot. Typical out here, another championship favorite. Probably the championship favorite, considering he's won most of the races, I think, or the most races. And that's Shepard, you know. I don't know what happened to him. It's unfortunate. He was a strong car all evening. But Bad Martin been the strongest car, as he has won both stages. And that 34 has been a familiar bumper tag. Almost like his license plate out there tonight. I believe his license plate number is 34. The number 4 has a 34 license plate. There's Hollywood. He got caught into some trouble earlier. So good line here. Typical and Hollywood working together. Two guys who dominated the points in the regular season. You can hear them. They're wide open right here. This is like some 220 stuff you're seeing right now. They're on like over 220 going down that backstretch right there. And that was one hell of a run they took out to that middle lane. They just don't have the help to keep it going out there once they basically done the slingshot. They engaged it, just didn't complete it. But you could hear that car was completely winded up going down that backstretch that time in the 16 of Hollywood. So that was interesting to see Hollywood go that fast, and you could just hear it on there, honestly. But these two guys right here, we are at 10 to go when we cross the line, and that's when I said some of these guys are going to have to pit. 10 to go. And there they go. That's Trav Nation, Big Ben, and Dunlap going in right now. So maybe these guys work together. You got Shepard coming out right now. They could possibly catch him, depending on how that works out. Got G-Dog up here in 3rd position now. And G-Dog, like I said, had been poking his head up here all evening. Could he have it, what it takes? And it wouldn't mean anything for him personally other than getting a win here in the Ruthless Racing Series. It wouldn't clinch him into anything or nothing like that. But it would be good to see a different winner here. 6 of Bob Drew is going to take a pit road this time. And Hollywood as well going to go in with them. And Typical is going to stay out with this front pack, as that is the strategy I would also take. That is enough cars up here to make a huge difference in separating themselves from the rest of the field. All depending on what kind of pit stop these guys have, as we are down to 8 to go in this race. And who is going to punch theirself in to the Ruthless Championship 4? It is a question that I just have been wanting to have an answer to all season. I mean, Bad Martin with the win. Oh, with the win, but he gets kind of knocked off the track out of his line. Typical gets a lot of spots there. You got to have that help to get the lead at Talladega. And sometimes you have to make enemies and leave them stranded once you get out to head of that inside line and you cut them off. These are what I'm looking to be our leaders still whenever all this comes around. But we'll check it out on Typical Stream once everybody gets back out on the track here. So Typical, don't know, possibly got a speeding penalty. Yeah, I believe he did. So that's unfortunate for Typical, as he did gain a lot of time there on those guys. So unfortunate. The 34 of Dan the Man is going to be your leader at the moment. And I believe Hollywood's coming up here to take the lead right now. And oh, he almost gets the nose of the 34, but he's able to clip it off just enough to get the lead. 16 in the lead. Now, once again, I think he led possibly one lap or two at some point earlier on in the race, maybe during a pit cycle. But now he is pitted around to the lead. And, yeah, there's about 7 laps remaining now. So very interesting turn of events after this pit stop. And now Dan the Man and Martin worked themselves back around these two. G-Dog and Hollywood, can they work up something and get around these guys? Oh, I guess G-Dog's going to try to make a move to the outside. And he's not going to be able to get it done. Great finish. That was a really close finish, to be honest. Dan the Man punches the ticket.